Hi guys, welcome to the energy update for this week, 12/6 through 12/12. It's going to be a really interesting kind of week, and the energy will be different for everybody, is really the way that I'm seeing it. It kind of depends on where you are in your journey, how safe you feel with the path that you're on. If you're not living in your truth, if you're not surrounding yourself with people that are building you up, this could be a pretty hard week to get through. This could be like one of those frustrating, like, why can't I just feel better kind of weeks. So we're leading up to the solar eclipse on the 14th of December, which is next Monday. And this is the last week that Saturn and Jupiter are in Capricorn, like for good, for a while, right? Like this is the last time that we're going to see the moon in Libra squaring off with Saturn and Jupiter. We're going to be like, this is the last time that we are having to deal with the lessons that Saturn and Capricorn brought to us. But one of the biggest things is Saturn will be at the last degree. So as we move into next week, this week is sort of that buildup. Like we're getting to that point where the energy is going to transfer and transition into something different and something new. So one of the things that I really want you guys to pay attention to is think about back to earlier this year in February and March, and sort of where you were at that point and what kind of things were coming up. What was the theme? What were all of those little idiosyncrasies and the themes in your own personal life? And then the things that you really saw within the collective as well that was happening, because that was the last time that Saturn was in its last degrees of Capricorn before moving into Aquarius. And then of course going retrograde and going back into Capricorn. But that was like a glimpse of where we are right now. And even though this year has been dramatically evolved, right? Like we've been evolving ourselves dramatically in a big way to a lead up to this Saturn and Jupiter shifting into Aquarius. If you didn't learn those lessons in February and March, if you weren't paying attention then, they're going to show up again. And maybe even if you were paying attention and maybe if you did learn those lessons, it might creep in. Like there could be some remnants, couple of things that you're just supposed to release and you're supposed to learn. And that's really what Saturn is doing. It's like squeezing, right? The last degree is very, very karmic, that 29th degree, which we will actually see, what day is that? On Tuesday is when Saturn goes into its 29th degree. And that last degree of Saturn in Capricorn is extremely karmic. So really pay attention to what comes up this week for you emotionally. Pay attention to what comes up lesson-wise. If you are interacting with people that are no longer resonating with you and are not supposed to be on your journey, this very well may be that week that those people are removed from your life, like permanently. Like there's a lot of karmic activity that's happening. It's very destined and fated stuff that's going on, especially as we're leading up to that solar eclipse in Sagittarius. So let's get started with day to day. If you guys would like to get an even more in-depth look at the energy, I do daily readings for the memberships, and we go even further in depth and look at a little bit of tarot each day as well. So that information is in the description box, or you can click the join button underneath this video. I will be starting the forecast readings, the general sign forecast readings, and the memberships will be getting the second half of the year for being a member. Like everybody else will have to purchase the second half of the year for the general readings, but the memberships will all get those, all 12 signs. So another perk to being a member. So Sunday, the 6th, we have Venus trining Neptune, and we also have Venus in conjunct Mars. And the moon is shifting from Leo. Right now it's void. Today is Sunday, the 6th. So right now the moon is void in Leo. And so you may, and it's going to be void for another couple of hours. So into the afternoon, if you just feel like not doing anything, that's perfectly fine. you might feel a little boost in wanting to get things done, or like wanting to get your week set up as the moon transitions into Virgo later this afternoon after it going void. The Venus trine Neptune and in conjunct Mars, be really, really careful about believing everything that you hear right now, or even trying to like please everybody, like being a people pleaser, because you don't want to get into arguments and you don't want to trigger anybody. You don't want anybody's emotions to be like you're the reason for their trigger, you're the reason that they're upset or sad or whatever. Just pay attention to not don't bend over backwards just to make somebody else feel better. Make sure that you're really standing in your truth. That Venus in conjunct Mars and Neptune is sort of like we just want to get along with everybody. We don't want to argue. We don't want to fight. So we'll do anything in our power in order to do that. So just pay attention to that. This evening will be a really good time for everybody to start just getting things done and getting things taken care of, setting yourself up for the week ahead. If that's something that you like to do on Sunday, Virgos are really known. So the moon shifting into Virgos are really known for organizing or getting their cleaning done on Sundays. I'm not entirely sure why that is, but like every Virgo moon that I know, every Virgo sun or even rising that I know, it's like they want to get everything together on Sundays and like, get themselves started for the week. That was a pattern that I noticed in some of my friends. So tomorrow, Monday, on the 7th, the moon is in Virgo. It's going to be trining Uranus in Taurus. And also squaring, the moon will also be squaring Mercury, which is in Sagittarius. And there's also going to be the moon square the sun. So the moon squaring Mercury, the moon squaring the sun, and trining Uranus. This is like tomorrow's going to be that day where you can't be told anything. Like if somebody is arguing with you or telling you that you're wrong in some way, shape, or form, you're going to make sure to let them know that they're the ones that are actually wrong. It's like nobody can tell you anything at all. You have all of the ideas. The sun square the moon. I actually have that in my birth chart, and it's a very headstrong, like my way or the highway kind of transit to have, or kind of aspect to have. So, and with that squaring off with Mercury, you could really hurt people with your words. With the moon in Virgo and squaring Mercury in Sagittarius, you could really hurt people. So pay attention to how you're interacting with people on Monday. Try not to be stubborn. Try not to be like too overly stubborn or too headstrong about things. You're not always right, but at the same time, make sure that you are speaking your truth. Like, we don't want to just roll over and let everybody walk all over us. That's like, we want to be able to find a nice, healthy balance between the two. So, use that headstrong nature in your work or getting things accomplished or being really productive instead of trying to make it seem like you know everything and nobody else knows anything, because tomorrow might be one of those days where we do something like that. By the evening, the moon will be opposite Neptune, and so it'll be more of a softer vibe. You'll want to like get all super cuddly and stuff with people. So just getting through the day, basically, like if you're at work and people are really, really, really getting on your last nerve, just kind of take a step back. Like you don't want to, because you'll want to fight on Monday if the opportunity arrives. But if you use it in a productive, if you use the energy in a productive way, it won't be so bad. Tuesday, the 8th, the moon in Virgo is sextile Venus. It's going to be trining Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn in Capricorn. Last time it's doing it, Saturn is at its last degree. This is really, with the moon in Virgo sextiling Venus, starting off the day, there's this deeper sense of like your emotional capacity. You may really want to connect with people on like a spiritual level with the trine to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. But you're also really learning lessons here on how your emotions affect other people and how when you are, like how your energy could change an entire situation. Because the moon in Virgo is actually a very psychic placement to have. I know a lot of people don't think that. That's like one of those unpopular opinions, that the moon in Virgo is a psychic place to have, but it's a really psychic placement to have. And when you're connecting with planets like Pluto and Jupiter, that emotional and that spiritual capacity and that psychic capacity just amplifies, right? Because Pluto is the underworld, Jupiter is the expansion. And then we have Saturn, where we have that psychic connection, meeting with like real world values and real world emotional maturity, basically. So having that Virgo moon trining Saturn for the last time in this degree is really going to show you how far you've come. Like, to me, this is really one of those opportunities for you to look back and be like, oh, damn, look at what I accomplished this year. Look at all of the things that I was able to create this year, or I was able to figure out, or I was able to heal, or in whatever capacity, whether it's small or whether it's big. Tuesday's really going to show you how far you've come, because with this last trine to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, it's almost that, like the hermit journey, having a lantern, right? And I always say with, Virgo being the hermit, and what hermits do is we take that, we take that really long trek up the mountain by ourselves with a tiny little light. We don't need much. We go all the way up the mountain to get the information from source, and then we bring it back down to give it all to the rest of the people, right? And I feel like that's sort of what Tuesday is you're having those aha moments and really recognizing how far you've come. So then we shift over into Wednesday, where the moon is in Libra. This is going to be opposite Chiron. This is where things start to get a little hairy this week. So the moon will be opposite Chiron, and these will definitely be bringing some emotional triggers full circle. Some of the things that every single time we have the moon in Libra, while Chiron is in Aries, it's like a full moon effect, right? Whenever there's an opposition that's happening, it's like the clearing out, right? So the triggers have to be revealed so that we can have them cleared out. And that's what this Libra moon is going to be helping us do. The sun is going to be squaring Neptune, and this is really like, this can create such a feeling of just not wanting to get anything accomplished. Wednesday might be a really good day for you to just do some self-care, because that sun squaring Neptune it's like our vitality, our energy is sort of being sucked out of us. It's like creating a void within our world. So if you have a lot of really busy things, like if you have a packed schedule on Wednesday, I was just thinking about this, that I kind of do have a packed schedule on Wednesday. You might want to shift that to either Tuesday, Thursday, or maybe even next week, possibly. But if you get to Wednesday and you start to have those emotional triggers and things start coming up, and you don't really have the energy to deal with the things that are coming up, you may just want to relax and chill and vibe and like take a day off. There's nothing wrong with taking a day off and having that would be a really great mental day to have. Be careful if you are keeping secrets, or that somebody else is keeping secrets. That stuff is going to come out. If you don't know if somebody is keeping secrets, but they are, it might come out this week. This may be a week, because it's very karmic and it's very destined, and everything that's going on this week, we're having to release all of the things that we can't take with us, right? So paying attention to everything that's releasing, don't hold on to stuff really tightly this week, because it will be very, very clear what is no longer resonating on your journey. Don't believe everything you hear on Wednesday. That's another thing with that sun squaring Neptune. Information is going to be veiled, because Neptune is also getting closer to squaring with the nodes, the lunar nodes. And we've been talking about that for the last couple of weeks. And, everything is sort of under a veil of illusion right now. Not all of the information that's coming out, that you're hearing, the people that you're talking to, the media, the social media, whatever it is, really, really, really be discerning with the information that's coming, because you could get the wool pulled over your eyes in a big way and very deceived in this moment. So like knowing your truth and standing in your truth and even speaking your truth and making sure that other people know, like, you're not going to be able to get me this time. It's probably a pretty good idea. Thursday and Friday and Saturday. So Thursday, the moon in Libra is opposite Mars and Venus is sextile Pluto. The moon is also going to be squaring Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn. So squaring Jupiter and Saturn for the last time. We're all sort of like coming to the end of cycles with these final moon phases before we lead up to Saturn and Jupiter moving into Aquarius. Everything that we have had to deal with this Libra moon squaring, you know, we're trying to find the balance with Libra moon, right? We're trying to find the balance in our nature. We're trying to find the balance in life. And the square to Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn has always brought up each month where that balance isn't, where you don't have that balance in your life and what you need to change or what you need to expand upon in order to create that kind of balance in your life. Thursday is going to be a really highly sexually charged day. Thursday and Friday actually probably will be, and maybe even going into Saturday. But with the moon opposite Mars and Venus sextile Pluto, this is going to be a very highly sexually charged in the last week. If you don't want to get pregnant, wrap it up. I'm just saying, like, this is that week that people are going to be coming together. And there might be a lot of babies like in the next 9 months. Like 9 months from this weekend or this week, there might be a lot of babies that are being born, especially since everybody's like back in quarantine again. And we're all sort of just like waiting for the next step that we're supposed to take. It's like, what else are we supposed to do? All right, roll around in the covers. There we are. If you are in relationships, those bonds could actually become a lot stronger during this time. But so the Libra moon is going to be opposing Mars, Venus sextiling Pluto. Be really careful with your relationships. You might even feel extra protective. You might feel really, really protective over relationships right now. And I actually saw a tweet yesterday about, was it yesterday? All my days are all mixed up together. But I saw a tweet yesterday about how people, you know, like the evil eye is real and like people are protecting their relationships and stuff. And I was like, man, I mean, that's so true, especially right now. It's really, really true to do stuff like that because karmic things all over the place, but also remembering that what is yours, it will always be yours. Like you can't, like, don't be overprotective. Don't try and box people in. Stuff like that. Like there's not, you know, you don't want to try and create more karma or more lessons for yourself by forcing a relationship to work or by forcing something to happen. Okay, so Friday, because that would be a really bad idea right now. Moon in Scorpio will be opposite Uranus in Taurus in the early morning. We're still going to be under the Venus sextile Pluto, so there's still going to be like that highly charged sexual drive that's going on. Early in the morning, the sun will be trining Mars, and so Friday is going to be like that overconfident kind of day. Like you could really overcompensate on putting yourself, and I mean, I don't even know, can you really like overdo putting yourself out there? I don't know. Friday would be a really good day to promote yourself because you're going to feel good. That might not be for everybody, but there's sort of this heightened sense of feeling like everything is in its place and everything is happening the way that it's supposed to be happening, and just making everybody feel like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing right now. And the confidence level will be way, way, way up here. You know, I'm not really a big fan in telling people not to be cocky because I think that there's a really fine line between being egotistical and being like, I'm better than you are, and being cocky and just knowing that you're the shit and like promoting yourself and being like, I know I'm an amazing person. So again, finding that balance between being way overconfident and egotistical and not confident enough, like let's find that healthy middle balance there. Again, really increased sex drive on Friday, highly charismatic, really feeling like things are moving forward in the right direction. So that's kind of nice, since this is like the lead up to that new moon in Sagittarius. You want to make sure that you're on the right path. You want to make sure that the directions that you're going in are defining who you are and defining what you want in your future. All right, Saturday, the 12th, moon is in Scorpio, and she will be joining Venus, which is still in Scorpio. The moon will be sextiling Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn, and trine Neptune. That's a lot of emotional and spiritual, like really, really spiritually, emotionally charged on Saturday. There's kind of a sense of just feeling good about the change, feeling good about the forward momentum. I think from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the boost in feeling good about our future and like what the outcomes are going to be, you know, it's going to feel a little bit different. Maybe it'll still be a little bit heavy. Like that Scorpio moon can be extremely intense sometimes. But the psychic ability with a Scorpio moon is also like, this is a very psychic kind of week with a interesting, downplayed day right in the middle, but it's a really highly charged, highly psychic kind of week. So it'll be easy for most people. It'll be really easy to see what needs to change and what needs to be released and what needs to be taken away as we get into this shift in energy with the Saturn and Jupiter going into Aquarius, because that's going to be, we're moving from earth into air, right? We're moving from having to be really disciplined and do it all the right way to a future forward momentum of innovation and, how can we make things better and how can we do this for the benefit of all and not just looking at like a one-on-one or like a one-off kind of thing. This is for the entire collective and for the entire community. So really having a lot of spiritual insights on Saturday with the moon in Scorpio sextiling for the last time, sextiling Saturn and Jupiter in Capricorn. And just that forward momentum, that push into the future, that's going to be a really big theme. And I think that if we allow ourselves to pay attention to all of the details that are showing up as well, because I think, for myself, there's a lot of the times the details are sort of glossed over. Because I'm like, I don't have time for which is funny because I'm a Virgo, right? But sometimes I just don't have time to look at all of the details intricately, like really, really pay attention to all of the details intricately. But I think this week is one of those weeks where if we were to pay attention to the details, it'll be a lot easier for us to go through the transition. And you'll be able to recognize that you can trust your own intuition even more when you're paying attention to the details and making decisions out of that. When it comes to making decisions this week, I think that the beginning of the week, it's going to be a lot easier to be productive with the moon in Virgo. And I think the end of the week, it'll be, like that middle time with the moon in Libra, and we have the sun squaring Neptune. And that feeling is going to still sort of be lingering over on Thursday too. So really be productive, get things done early on in the week, and towards the end of the week, allow yourself to pay attention to what it is that you're not supposed to be doing on your journey anymore. This is going to be a big week of letting go, trust, faith. And so next week will be the big shift. We'll have a solar eclipse next week. We'll have Saturn moving into Aquarius, and and that'll be at the end of the week. So Saturn moving into Aquarius and Jupiter moving into Aquarius at the end of next week. I will be doing videos for members on what Saturn moving into Aquarius and Jupiter moving into Aquarius means for us. So that's going to be another little bonus if you'd like to join the memberships. I love you guys. I hope you have a really wonderful week. I hope your holiday season is going well. I know it's a little strange this year, the holiday season that we have. But it's not like nothing, right? We still have things that we can be joyful about. So let yourself focus on the joy. Let yourself focus on the fun parts. Let yourself focus on not just the grind or not just like, how am I going to survive, but creating a space for yourself of joy and not getting deep into the fear. Don't be afraid. It's going to be okay. I love you all. Have a wonderful week.